What's up everyone, Adam here, bringing you some more SuperCard action. So today, basically all the Season 7 prep stuff, all the Season 7 what to expect at launch kind of thing. Some good news for free players because there's a lot of free credits about to come your way. And I'm also going to go into kind of deck optimization and kind of deck strategy. So the cards that you should be looking out for and prioritizing as you're playing through Season 7. So let's get into it. So first up, all the Season 7 reveal videos are out. All the content creators that got early access have done an amazing job. I highly suggest, if you haven't watched them, go and watch them. There's so many to choose from. 2K UK, 2K Australia, even like 2K France and that. I think some US ones as well. But yeah, make sure to check them out. You can see all. If you don't want too much spoiled, then there's people have basically done like small breakdown videos as well as like longer, like, oh, here's all the cards, that kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, that all that information's out. What we're going to go into today is, first off, your ladder and your achievements. So these are getting reset. Now the numbers could change, but I don't think they will. Your ladders are getting reset, so basically all these rewards will be reset and reobtainable. So what I'm going to suggest is, don't redeem them. Basically, let these sit here, because these are going to reset every single season from now on. Or at least that's the plan that they put forward. So when we get to SummerSlam 21, basically, if you've stacked up all of these, you're potentially looking at like instantly hitting SummerSlam 21 and then instantly being able to redeem like 6, 7, 8 mix of male and female cards. So I know it'll be tempting at certain points to redeem them, but if you hold out, it'll benefit you the most if you save them for the final tier of the season. If you're like on the edge and you know for a fact redeeming one of these will bump you up to the next tier, then yeah, sure, go for it. But in general, I'd suggest keeping all your ladder rewards for SummerSlam 21, the final tier. Jump into that tier at a really high point with a load of new cards. For the achievements, these are going to reset as well, which means if you're currently SummerSlam 20, you will instantly fulfill a lot of achievements straight away. So if we look at it, so Shattered is going to become the new base tier. So if you make a new account, instead of starting at Titan, it'll start at Shattered. So the Reach Shattered achievements will disappear and they'll start from here. So you'll get WrestleMania 35, Cataclysm, SummerSlam 19, Nightmare, Primal, Vanguard, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania 36, Elemental, and SummerSlam tier unlocked achievements immediately. Soon as the season starts, once they reset, you'll unlock these achievements straight away. Because these achievements are like, they'll keep these achievements because new players will be hitting these tiers as well. If they don't change the credit amounts and keep them the same, that's 5,000 free credits instantly at the start of the season. That's a good few events worth of credits. You could even use it on packs if you want to, but if you're a free player, getting a bulk set of credits like that, and then we'll have obviously reaching Biomech, reaching Swarm, and reaching Behemoth achievements as well. So we're looking at potentially like 6,500, if not more, free credits for Season 7. I tend to save them for events if you're a free player, but if you want to use them on packs, use them on whatever you want. But yeah, that's really good news for everyone. I know a lot of people tend to like get a bit sour when new tiers and stuff come around because content creators get like care packages and stuff with free credits and they're like, why isn't everyone getting these? Well, essentially the reset every season will mean that as long as you are the top tier coming out of the previous season, you will get a bulk set of credits at the start of each season from now on, which is really good news, really works well. So yeah, there's that. Right, next thing, I'm going to go into like deck optimization and potentially what will be the best way to build your decks and what cards to prioritize, especially when it comes to the techniques and styles and that kind of thing. We're not going to do it with the top 8. Your top 8 is literally get the highest number, the cards with the highest numbers on them to push your tier up. So your top 8 isn't really a good indication of how good your cards actually are. They're just high numbers. That's what these changes are kind of stripping away, where when you're using them in actual modes and like in actual matches, there's a little bit more tactics to it. So the highest number on a card isn't necessarily always going to win. So what we're going to actually use instead is our Road to Glory deck. So Road to Glory deck consists of your top 16 males and your top 4 females. So all the other modes kind of build around these cards. There's only a couple of modes that require additional cards, that kind of thing. So using your Road to Glory deck is a really good indication of how good your cards actually are. Right, so the way I'm going to split this up is top row, I'm going to class that as tier 1 in the males. Second row is tier 2, third row is tier 3, and your fourth row is tier 4. Your tier 1 tends to always be made up of like your event cards, your high promo cards. Tier 2 promo cards, and then tier 3 and 4, depending on how much you play, will either be like low end promo cards and like your upper end of your base cards. And then for the females, I'm going to do tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4 for each individual one. Right, so for tier 1 on your males, right, there's one factor that we have no control over, and that's what style a superstar has. So they'll either have grappler, brawler, striker, high flyer or orator. We have no control over that. That's preset by Cat Daddy, it's preset by 2K. That'll just be what it is. What we do have control over and what will make the difference in optimizing your decks is the techniques. So chain, overrun, assist, reversal, inspire or defender. Now, for your tier 1s, your event cards and that, the techniques that you're going to want to prioritize are your overrun. If you've got a brawler, a striker, or a high flyer. If you've got an orator or a grappler, then you've got options. You can either go for reversal or inspire. So what reversal will do is give it basically like a safety net. If it loses on one stat, it'll it'll do the match again and re-roll what stat it chooses to actually do the bout. So that can help you win matches. Inspire, if you win the match, which your tier 1 cards tend to win their matches when you're playing through the different modes, because they're your high number like event cards and stuff like that. So they have a high win ratio, so they're more likely to trigger the inspire, which will, when you win, it passes a bonus onto the next, like your next matchup, your next card. So then for your tier 2s, you can, again, if you've got a high flyer, a striker, a brawler, overrun's going to be the one that you want to go for. Again, these cards are still powerful. They still have overflow of stats. So you overrun, basically, whatever stats are left over, like kind of think about it like with Elimination Chamber and Royal Rumble. After the bout, whatever those numbers left are, they'll pass over as a buff to the next card. Now, if you combine that with the super move, which doubles your card stats, you can essentially like pass over buffs in the millions to the next cards. So your tier 1s and your tier 2s, you're kind of going to want to prioritize overrun. If you can't have overrun, like say you're a free player and you don't have the credits to re-roll, then you're kind of looking more at like chain or inspire for the brawler striker. Brawler and striker will have chain. Inspire is the high flyer. So they'll kind of give a buff, because again, tier 2 still has a high win ratio. They'll give a buff to the next card. So for tier 3 and 4, your weaker cards, higher loss ratio. The stats aren't as good. What you're going to want to run is assist. So that comes with the grappler, it comes with the striker, it comes with the high flyers, and it comes with the orators. So brawlers that don't get assist do get access to reversal, which is the safety net, which lets them re-roll as another chance of winning the match. So what you can actually do is, kind of in your matchups, you'd prioritize your tier 1 and 2 cards going first, trying to trigger Overrun, trying to trigger Chain, Inspire, to pass them buffs onto your tier 3 and 4. If you've got so say you use a super move and it triggers, doubles your stats and it triggers Overrun, so you're essentially applying millions to the next card. That's where you'd kind of use your striker, because it doesn't have as much optimization in tier 3 and 4, whereas the rest of the cards in tier 3 and 4 can get assist, where they can pull stats from other cards. So that's kind of like one of the tactics that you can use. And we'll go over tactics in a little bit. But yeah, in terms of so you know the types of cards that you want to use in each tier. The way you can optimize your deck is, as you can see on mine, my arrows are kind of a bit all over the place. There was a lot of blue arrows. It is what it is. But what you kind of want to do is, with each tier, so say for instance, we've got the Jeff Hardy tier 1. I've got the Daniel Bryan as Dan Bandana in tier 2. Realistically, I'd try and make them a compatible tag. So if I'm actually going for cards to add to my deck, that's the kind of optimization that you want. So you want your tier 1s to tag with your tier 2s, and you want your tier 3s to tag with your tier 4s. And that way the synergy of the techniques that you're using will also work when they're in a tag team. Then they've got the individual matchup for the technique, which we've already set. So if you try and build your deck that way, that'll actually optimize it more than just this card's got the highest number, regardless of arrow, regardless of technique, regardless of style. If you just build your deck that way, you'll end up losing to decks that are actually built properly and actually have synergy with each other. Because it's something that hasn't been really done in SuperCard before, but in pretty much any other competitive card game, you need synergy within your deck. Your deck needs to flow and your deck needs to work together, rather than just, here's the powerful card and try and fly through the game. Yeah, same applies to the females when you use them as tier 1, 2, 3 and 4. You'd have your tier 1 and 2 to tag, and then your tier 3 and 4 to tag. Yeah. That's that. So, tactics. So, you can do like one tactic that I can see being very viable is like that kind of big shot attack. So, you super move onto your strongest tier 1 card, trigger Overrun, have this massive buff, and then apply it to your other cards. So when you apply it to another card, you'd then prioritize a weak tier 3 or 4 card that can't use assist, because then that way, if you don't have any Chain, Inspire or Overrun active, you can use a tier 3, 4 card, if it triggers the assist, it'll get a buff anyway. So it's basically like trying to optimize, like, no matter what card you're playing, you're in a situation where they can be buffed or already have a buff. So the card that you're playing is either going to benefit your next card or it's going to buff itself. And that's kind of how you'll maximize like your flow and be able to like maximize your wins. You should notice that your win ratio will go up. Things like Road to Glory especially will become so much easier. I know the automatic time has been introduced, so everyone's like, I'm just going to AFK Road to Glory. But once it gets to the later ones, you actually have to put in effort, especially for the first one, because everyone's cards are going to be low compared to the event. If you get what I mean, everyone's still got like SummerSlam cards that only just getting into the Season 7 tiers. And then you go into the Road to Glory event, and by the time you trying to get to the end of it, or trying to get the heroic, it's like you need a full behemoth deck to even compete. But that's where this synergy, you'll be able to boost your cards enough with these buffs and the different tactics where you could topple the difference. When I've been looking at the stats of the cards as well, it looks like it is possible where you could be, say, base behemoth going up against the plus deck, and if your deck's got better synergy, you have a high chance of winning that match. Obviously, there's no guarantees in any of it. Tactics can fall apart, anything can happen kind of thing, but you're just increasing your odds of winning, especially while your decks are lower than what you're facing. But yeah, as the season opens up and progresses, I'm going to create like a best of Road to Glory setup. So once because everyone's revealed the cards, but the styles haven't been revealed for all the superstars, so we don't know if, say, like the Fiend's a grappler, brawler, a striker, or high flyer, or an orator kind of thing. Some of them have been revealed, some of the cards have the icons on them, that kind of thing, but others haven't. They all aren't out there. So once the game's actually up, running, all the card details are out, and we know what styles the different superstars have, then I'm going to create, like, here's pretty much like the best, from the base cards at least, here's the best biomechanical setup that you can have, is the best swarm setup you can have, with the best tags, highest tier cards, that kind of thing, and then the best behemoth ones from the base sets. And then at the end of each tier, I'll take all the event cards, all the promo cards that have been released, and for like kind of like the final episode of each tier, we'll see what was the best possible deck for this tier, and we'll do that each tier as the season goes on. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have any ideas for like different tactics, different combos between the techniques, that kind of thing, anything that I might have overlooked. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I know my last video was a bit of a rant about how the techniques work, because I see these being so important towards the gameplay in Season 7 that I still think it's wrong that they're behind a paywall, but hopefully being able to use different combinations and creating like different synergies and different deck types might be able to get around it where it is a little bit free player friendly, but we'll see what happens. So for the Season 7 launch, I'm going to be live on Twitch. I'll probably go live when the reset should have happened, because there's going to be a maintenance. Even if the maintenance finishes, because the maintenance goes up 3 hours before the reset. Even if the maintenance finishes early, Season 7 probably won't come out until the reset. So I'll go live about the time of the reset. If the maintenance is still ongoing, then I don't know. We'll play other games. We'll do something, you know. But yeah, I'll be live on Twitch, twitch.tv/WTMAdam. We'll go over more deck types or something. I don't know. Whatever. As always, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.